Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my next episode of my studio adventure where I will be continuing the build out of my new studio office shed at my home. And this will replace the current studio I have, which is in a bedroom in my house. And in this episode, I'm going to take you through the process of delivering and putting on the gravel pad the shed that you see in front of you, the one that my wonderful wife got at an auction. And what's really interesting is this whole process is going to go a lot faster than I thought because we got lucky and some very cool things happened to stars kind of aligned to get us there. And again, I have my wife thank a lot for that because she's doing a lot of the orchestrating of this while I work. However, this project is getting underway. And what I'm going to show you now is simply what we did and what had to happen to get the studio shed into our home, onto our lot, and onto the gravel pad. So let's take a look at that video now.
Cool.
Okay, so what you see here is the big trailer that was delivering the studio shed. You can see that there on the back of the tractor, the trailer. And what's cool is this device that he is taking out, that little machine, is actually a robot. And I don't know if you saw it at the beginning, but when he pulled it off the rack, he had a little uh, a little like control box strapped to him, which was really interesting. Anyway, what we did is we had this specially delivered by a group that does studio equipment, and you can see that they have a trailer specifically for it. But what's really interesting is I want to show you what happens when he gets the shed actually off of there and brings it into the yard. Um, it's quite a clever process, and I was really surprised at the tool and how I thought there was absolutely no way that little tractor was going to be able to not only lift this thing up, but keep it off the ground, which is absolutely amazing. So anyway, I'm going to pause for just a minute and let this roll for just a minute or two and let you see it, and then I'll come back to it in just a second. So as you can see, I was actually pretty amazed that that little robot was carrying that entire 18 by or 16 by 20 shed onto our lot. I thought it was very cool. Um, it was completely remote, robotic, and really amazing to watch him work with it. He's actually really good with it. I mean, he got it on there in one shot. I was really impressed. I just had to have him move it a little bit forward, and he was able to get that thing onto the studio, the lot there. Now, this pretty big building. I don't know if you could tell by the structure. It's not very small. It's actually pretty big. And what we're going to be doing with it is we're going to be actually building a deck around the front of it and the side and the back. And I'll talk about that in later videos as well. But to start with, we just got to get it in and get our electricity in place, get everything else in place with it. Anyway, super exciting project. I can't wait to see this continue on. But that is the video of them loading the shed onto our property. From here, I'm going to give you a quick glimpse of the interior. And this is the first shot I took. You can see it's completely unfinished, but it has some really cool features in it that I liked. One is the skylights across the top of the space there that brings some more natural light into the building, as long with the sliding windows that have screens over them, which is super cool. And you can see it's got these big barn doors. I'm going to make the right-hand door probably not open. Still debating that. I'm waiting to see what kind of pricing I can get, what things I can do to make that very interesting. And here's a better view of it without as much glare. You can see that it also has some vents and a vaulted ceiling. We were really thinking about what we're going to do with that ceiling. I thought we would just simply put insulation and sheetrock all the way up to the top, but those joists you can see going across the middle aren't really conducive for that. So we're probably going to drop some kind of ceiling. The unfortunate part about that is the thing I have to debate is if I do that, I will lose some of the natural light from that space up there across the top because it will be above the ceiling line. And I'm really trying to work that out where I don't have to do that, but it may not be an option for us at this time. But as we look at a different picture, you can get a better idea of what the other side. I mean, it looks the same on both sides, obviously, but you can get an idea that it has these joists going across the top, and I don't think we're going to be able to have the vaulted ceiling look as good as I thought it would. We're probably going to have to drop a ceiling. Now, also on this side, if you look right into this area, we're going to be cutting a hole and putting a nice big frame around that, where I'm going to inset a window air conditioning unit instead of using one of the existing windows, which one will look less attractive, two faces the house, which will look way less attractive, and three will also lose some of the natural light that I have. So we're going to take that space right there and we're going to cut that hole out and put the air conditioning unit in it, which means we're dropping the electrical box over in that area, and we'll have a special plug for the air conditioning unit over in that section. This was something we decided early on, and we know it's important to be able to get the project done right. So that's where we're going to start with that. So how we frame out these windows is going to be very important as well, because I want to preserve all natural lighting while still making them look good. So in a future video, I'm going to talk about how we're going to do some of that. In this video, what I want to say is that each of the sites has these windows and they have screens on them. So they're pretty nice. There's also a window box outside. So we're going to put a recessed light that drops it, like illuminates down onto the window box in the front. It'll look very nice outside of each window and give us some evening time illumination as well. Plus, we're going to have some dropped recessed lighting in the ceiling, which will be very cool. And that's really basically all I can talk about in this video, because what we're going to do next, when I go to the next portion, I'm going to talk about the electrical, what we're doing. But this is just to get us started and help you understand what's going to be happening here. And again, I want to show you that it's completely unfinished on the inside. So how this is going to end up looking is going to be very cool, because it'll look just like a finished interior part of my house when I am done, but probably better. So anyway, I really hope you're enjoying this little series, this little video log of our build out of our studio space. And all I ask you guys is, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps support it in that way. I really appreciate it. It makes all the difference in the world. And, I love this hobby, and I have a passion for it. And I want to share everything that I do in it with all of you. And I wish during this time I could share it with a lot more of my friends and that sort of thing. But it's tough to do that right now, as we all know. But anyway, please, I do appreciate the support. So if you can do that, that's great. And we'll see you in the next episode, where I think I'm going to get a little more into the details on the electrical pieces and things like that. Now, this isn't going to get too heavy into the actual construction, but if you do have questions, please feel free to reach out to me and ask. I'm happy to answer them. I've had a few people reach out to me separately and ask about the costs and things associated with it. I'm not talking about the money here, but we can do, if you really have an urgent request or an interest in doing something like this yourself, I'm happy to share my experience with you directly. So thanks again, and I will talk to you in the next episode of our Studio Shed adventure.